Welcome to my first video of 2012. I can't believe it. We're already through the Christmas festive period and into the new year already. So I hope everybody, whatever they've been doing, have enjoyed this whole festive period, this whole New Year's period. Doing whatever, going to whatever parties you're doing or whatever you've done. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope if anybody has had a bad year last year, hopefully it will be a better year this coming year of 2012. Now, I've had a few difficult decisions what to do on this first video. I hate doing these sad videos. I've done a couple obviously recently with some people dying, like the late great Bison Smith, professional wrestling, who wrestled in Japan. But I have decided to review really this DVD because I was watching it again last night, and it is such a fantastic, such a great man. The DVD I am talking about, and I have said before in previous DVD reviews, buy the Blu-ray, and a lot of Blu-rays you do get exclusive footage that you do not get on the normal DVD sets, and again this is yet another one. The normal DVD set, this documentary, lasts 1 hour 42 minutes, and that is fine. I'm not going through them to compare the two, but 1 hour 42 minutes is, and it's a great documentary. But the Blu-ray version that I've watched 2 or 3 times now lasts for 2 hours 42 minutes. You get another 60 minutes, whole hour extra footage. As you see, I'm not compared the two, but it's a fantastic DVD, fantastic documentary, and it is the Senna documentary, the Senna documentary movie. You see there the taglines: no fear, no limits, no equal. You see there it also says completely unmissable, and I don't know whether you can see that, but it does say Jeremy Clarkson, Top Gear. You can't really see there, it's too faint. But Ayrton Senna is one of the greatest Formula 1 drivers in history. He only raced for 10 years, although he had been racing in go-karts for several years before that, although he passed away sadly at the age of only 34. Circumstances I'll get to in a moment. In his career, his 10-year career racing for Toland, Lotus, Williams and McLaren, he ended his career in Williams. He amassed 41 wins, 610 points, with 65 pole positions. Not only that, he won 3 Formula 1 World Championships in the years of 1988, 1990 and 1991. This is exceedingly good documentary, to borrow a phrase. It is a fantastic documentary charting Ayrton Senna from his debut in 1984 in Formula 1 with the Toland team right through to 1st of May and just slightly beyond 1st of May 1994, where he sadly passed away at the San Marino Grand Prix, the Imola circuit, during the race there. He crashed on, I believe it was lap 6 of 58, when the steering column broke. He unfortunately his car went straight on. He hit the barrier, sadly passed away due to a fatal head injury. It is amazing, as some of the people featured in the documentary, especially Professor Sid Watkins, who is the I believe he's just retired the last couple of years. He is the long time Formula 1 official doctor, the head of all medical personnel at Formula 1 events. He was stating that it's amazing the way Senna died was a piece of the steering column broke off and hit his helmet, causing sadly a fatal head injury. Ayrton Senna, or Ayrton Senna de Silva, to give his full name, he only lived from 21st of March 1960 to the 1st of May 1994. As I said, he passed away at only 34 years old, but triple world champion. This documentary is a fantastic look, made with the kind permission and full assistance of his family and friends. It features much of the background footage that otherwise has not been seen in as if you, I don't know if you follow Formula One or motorsports, they have a drivers meeting before each race just to explain any regulations, to answer any questions. There's a lot of footage from them. There's a lot of behind the scenes footage. It is quite an extensive and very extensive documentary. It contains interviews from Ayrton Senna himself. It also features interviews from, as I said, Professor Sid Watkins, who was one of Ayrton's friends, Reginaldo Lemme, Ross Brawn, Ron Dennis, John, I hope let's get this right, Bisignano, who is who covered Formula One for 15 years for American TV station ESPN. It also features Richard Williams, who was the chief sports writer for The Guardian, and several other names. It includes also a lot of footage from an interview done with Alain Prost. It is extremely, the very detailed documentary following his from 1984 to 94 of Senna's Formula One career. It goes quite a bit in detail of the feud between Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna. Obviously, as I said in the previous video, I get two icons of that sport, both battling for supremacy, and obviously charts there from the friendship, the partnership at McLaren, down to the breakdown of the friendship, and also starting to come together as friends once again shortly before Senna's untimely death. It is again extremely fantastic documentary. It is. Oh, it gets a point. As Senna was a devout Catholic, it gets very theological at one point, talking about different people. Ron Dennis talking about Ayrton Senna's devout Catholic beliefs. On his grave there's also nothing can the phrase "nothing can separate me from the love of God." He was very much a devout Catholic, very much. It's discussed just for a few minutes, but it certainly is. Well, one thing that they all really, to be honest, at the end just said, well, if that's his belief, that's fine, that's his belief. Ayrton Senna was a tremendously talented man, a tremendous race driver. I've grown up watching Formula One since I can remember. He was one of my heroes in those early days. He was a fantastic driver. Before there was Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna was the master of the rain, the wet track. You have to watch the documentary to really get the understanding of just how great a driver Ayrton Senna was. He was absolutely fantastic. It's a bit difficult to watch at times as well. Like I said, I watched the Blu-ray version, which is 2 hours 42 minutes, and really towards the end, the weekend of the San Marino Grand Prix, it does get a little bit hard to watch. For those who don't know, the San Marino Grand Prix at the Imola circuit in 1994 was an accident-ridden Grand Prix. There were several accidents at the start of the race, but even before then, on the Friday at one of the practice sessions, Ayrton Senna's friend and still a Formula One driver, Rubens Barrichello, he crashed his car. He went flying into the air and into the barriers. Luckily, he was lucky enough to suffer only a broken nose, a broken arm, and some severe bruising. Thankfully, he walked away from that. Unfortunately, the following day, on the Saturday, the day before the race, really, I was thinking at this point myself, what I clearly remember, possibly because of Ayrton Senna's death, but I clearly remember watching this Grand Prix weekend. there was the death on the Saturday of Roland Ratzenberger, again another one of Ayrton's friends. During practice, he crashed his car and had a fatal crash. Footage of many accidents are featured in this documentary, I have to warn you, including Senna's, including Ratzenberger's, including Barrichello's. There are obviously a lot of the accidents are very minor. Some of the wet conditions at Monaco, where he excelled himself at Monaco. I believe he won 6 times, which is at Monaco, which is more than any other driver has managed. A lot of the accidents shown are very minor bumps, which obviously take the cars out of the race, but nobody is harmed by these accidents, thankfully. But it does contain, I must warn people, it does contain the footage of the fatal accidents of Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna. Again, this documentary was made with the full permission and assistance of the family of Ayrton Senna, and with many other broadcast corporations using their footage, of course. Again, at that point, it is very difficult to watch. Like I said, he was extremely unlucky, Ayrton Senna, to pass away when he did, the way he did, even because, like I said, a piece of the steering shaft broke and hit his helmet. Apparently, if it was 6 inches higher, 6 inches lower, he would have walked away. But unfortunately, just to show, fortunately he died. Just to show actually how unlucky he was. There was actually an incident quite recently, less than 2 years ago, on the 25th of July 2009. Ferrari driver Felipe Massa was hit on the helmet by a piece of suspension spring from ironically Ruben Barrichello's Braun car. The spring hit him on the helmet. Luckily, the safety has been improved in Formula 1 so much that it hit his Felipe Massa's helmet. Although it did cause him a fairly serious injury, Felipe Massa is fine. He's even back, fully recovered and back racing in 2010. He was back racing and he's fully fit, fully recovered. As we all know what happened to Richard Hammond as well. These sort of things sometimes are just unlucky. Just unfortunately, I say unlucky, but sometimes you walk away. Unfortunately, sometimes like Senna, you don't. Really sadly. Again, it's an extremely in-depth documentary. There's a lot of footage of the races, a lot of excellent family footage as well of Ayrton Senna with his family. His nephew Bruno Senna actually races in Formula 1 now, which is again another tribute to Ayrton, that his nephew, even after Senna's death in the middle of a race, has pursued his dream and continues to carry the Senna de Silva name in Formula 1. You get a lot of great extras on this DVD. You get a lost radio interview with Ayrton Senna, which lasts approximately 38 minutes. And again, you get the it's a lost radio with Gerald Donaldson interviewing Ayrton Senna. You get a couple of minutes of Senna family home videos, although there is a lot more private, and again it's made with the full assistance and permission of the Senna de Silva family. Interlaced in the documentary is a lot of Senna home family footage, although you get 3 or 4 minutes of more family footage. There's a lot of great family footage of Senna on the boat. He's also interviewed obviously it was a camera crew going on to interview Senna, as some of the interviews that are featured in the movie is of that interview. A lot of wide and varied subjects are actually covered in this DVD, not just his racing career, but his love life, he was married before he got into Formula 1, while he was still in go-kart racing, but unfortunately that broke down, and he went, I believe he wasn't married again, but it does show you him with a few girlfriends, obviously young man living his life, doing what he loved to do. It does show you Ayrton's absolute love of motorsports and of motorsport racing. Even there's a great moment in the DVD. Professor Sid Watkins, again, he is one of the absolute best doctors, medical personnel Formula One's ever had. Like I said, he's a long time, over 40, I think 30, 40 years he has worked with Formula One, and I believe he's only recently retired, possibly recently retired in the last 2 or 3 years. He was, like I said, head of all medical personnel in the Formula One events. There's a fantastic moment, even when they have on the Saturday, at the Imola Grand Prix, after the death of Roland Ratzenberger, Sid Watkins says to Senna, "No, you're a triple-time world champion. I know you love fishing. Why don't you retire? I retire, and we'll go fishing together." And to see, though, even after such a tragic accident with his friend, Senna says no to Sid Watkins. "I must race. I cannot not race." It is, you see the love, the passion that Ayrton Senna had for motorsports go through. There is also featured the whole political struggles with that Ayrton Senna came across with his. He crashed into Alain Prost a couple of times, and you see the political powers kind of fight. Ayrton Senna fight against the then president of the FIA on Formula One, and you do see a lot of the political infighting stuff that went on in those days of Formula One. Again, it is an extremely fantastic documentary. It is well worth watching. Again, I would say though, I believe it's rated. You see, it's exempt from classification. But however, to be honest, I wouldn't really recommend this for very young Formula One motorsports fans, purely because of near the end, it does show the fatal accidents of Roland Ratzenberger and of Ayrton Senna, and it does show quite a few crashes. Again, not many serious, although of course we have seen sadly more fatal accidents in motorsports very recently. I would not recommend it, to be honest, for young motorsport fans. Again, not just because of the crashes, but because it's more of a look at the man. Rather, also it does feature racing heavily, of course it does. It's a look at his Formula One, the decade of Ayrton Senna in Formula One. But it is an extremely great, intricate, detailed look at Ayrton Senna. You do also get filmmaker's commentary featuring the director, and I hope it is Asif Kapadia, writer Manish Pandey, and producer James Gay-Rees. Again, it is a lot of the interviews, of course, like I said, are guys that were there. Ron Dennis, John Bisignano. I'm probably not pronouncing that properly, so apologies to him. Who he covered Formula One for 15 years for the ESPN network in America. And again, Richard Williams, the chief sports writer of The Guardian, and it is fantastic. It really is one, if you're a Formula One fan, it really is recommended to you. Again, it's not for younger fans. There's a lot more look at Ayrton's life, his loves, although of course there's nothing explicit, it does look and shows you Ayrton Senna's fantastic talent that he had, that we miss dearly. Again, I watched him growing up. I watched him in the very early years. Again, I've been watching a lot of things since I can remember. Formula One. It is a fantastic look at Ayrton Senna. I would highly recommend it. Just a very quick couple of things before I wrap up, because I know this is again another long one, but to be honest, talking about Ayrton Senna, I don't care. It's also made, and I must hopefully people can. I don't know whether people in Brazil will ever watch it, but it is also made with the kind permission and assistance of the Instituto Ayrton Senna, which was set up by Ayrton's sister Vivian. I hope I'm pronouncing it again, Vivian. She set it up in 1995, although plans were already in place, starting to be put in place by Ayrton and his sister Vivian in the start of 1984 to set up this Instituto Ayrton Senna, although I'm not sure whether they would name it after himself if he had lived. But this is a fantastic charity. You also get an advert looking at the work the Institute does, and it's fantastic work. They've helped, and since 1995, according to the advert, they've helped well over 12 million Brazilian children in education, food, just in their life generally. It's fantastic. Looks at a fantastic institution, a lot of fantastic work by many charities, of course, around the world. A lot of fantastic work they do to help. As we know, the country of Brazil is not a hugely wealthy country, although the one great thing, the legacy of Ayrton Senna is to help all these children, which obviously it will continue to help as many Brazilian children with their lives as possible. The good thing is Ayrton Senna did come from a fairly well-off family. Obviously, this family are using that money now to help all these Brazilian kids. What a fantastic legacy. Tribute to late great Ayrton Senna, that is. Again, it's a great documentary. Highly recommend it to any motorsports fan. I know a lot of younger motorsports fans may have not really seen Ayrton Senna. I was lucky enough to see him in his prime. He was still in his prime when he passed away. He was truly a fantastic race driver. And again, it's just fantastic that his legacy continues. And I have to say, one of the greatest tributes as well to Ayrton Senna, before I finish this, when on the 4th of May 1994, the footage is on the end of the documentary. The 4th of May 1994 saw the arrival back in Brazil of Ayrton Senna's body. Millions, and I mean millions of people lined the route from the airport to I'm not sure where it was, the place where his body lied in state. Millions of people lined that route. You see it on the documentary. You just see parts of it, but I've seen footage of it. I'm sure you could look on YouTube for actual footage from the news or maybe other video websites, if there's any decent ones, to look at the news footage from that day. They are absolutely packed everywhere they can, from footbridges. You see them from on scaffolds, from fire escapes, and a lot of the steps down. You see them absolutely packed everywhere they can stand, sit, hang from, all along the route as his body is taken in a fire engine to lie in state. So it's such a fantastic legacy of Ayrton Senna that so many people in Brazil are still inspired by him, and again, the Instituto Ayrton Senna continues fantastic work in Brazil, You see it on the advert. It looks fantastic work. Again, there are many charities around the world that do fantastic work. So just a fantastic document. Again, made with the permission and assistance of the family, including home footage that they've taken on their own camcorders. Obviously, also a lot of the stuff is archive footage. So some of the footage is not fantastic quality, but it is great to see it on this DVD. So please, again, the Blu-ray, you get fantastic, the best sound, best picture. It is a fantastic documentary. I'll highly recommend this Senna documentary. Again, you can buy on Blu-ray. You also get. I would say buy on the Blu-ray if you go Blu-ray, because you see it there. You also get the DVD anyway, and you can do the digital copy until I believe October this year. It is fantastic documentary. Senna, it's completely unmissable. It is a fantastic look at the life and times in Formula One with the great Ayrton Senna. Again, I would highly recommend this. He is one of the most famous names in Formula One. He is such a fantastic legend. May he rest in peace. I thank his family and friends and anybody involved in this production and helping the make of it, and I hope they continue their fantastic work with the Brazilian children.